All right, I tried to. I tried to sit in the shade, and then all of a sudden, like a red temperature came. I was like, "What the hell's going on with the phone?" So like I like quickly put it in the freezer, so like it actually worked just to put it on like an ice pack for like 5 minutes, and then like it still feels hot, but like I'm able to get it working again.
That's awesome.
All right, so let's do a take two. So we were talking about your favorite memory of last season was winning the ACC championship. So if you can remember about your answer, if you could re-say that again, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so was definitely the AC championship. Like I said, we went in underdogs. They started one of their guys, one of their bigger name guys. We started a freshman who he actually started some games for us. Great arm and pitched incredibly. And we had all confidence in the world in him. And he threw, I think, 3 innings. Then we turned it over to one of our senior relievers, and then I was able to. I think I threw the last 5 innings,
Okay.
and then Tyler Baum closed it out, and it was just we absolutely were on fire. I think we had like 3 home runs that game, and there wasn't anyone really stopping us in that tournament, and it was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, now like even the ACC tournament alone is not even a walk in the park. Like it's just
Oh no,
a hell of a yeah, it's just a lot of competition, and it's probably like at sometimes it could be better than the College World Series. It's like
yeah,
crazy downs. It's just insane the competition and all. It's awesome. So of course you're like me with sports. So like obviously getting the horrible news of not being able to play this year, it probably felt like them cutting your right arm off. So like if you tell everybody what it was like to get that news, where were you, and how upset were you that you found out that your 2020 season was just taken away from you due to the pandemic?
yeah. So I'm kind of like a worry wart, like when it comes
Yeah.
to like sicknesses and stuff. And I remember I was telling my roommates, I was like, "This is getting bad," and they were like, "Oh, like whatever." And I love like watching. I watch the news. I I do everything, and I keep up with everything. And I was like, "No, like it's actually like a thing." And they're all like, "Oh, like whatever." And that morning, at like 7 a.m. when they canceled our season, that morning I had a doctor's appointment for bug bites I got fishing.
Oh God, yeah,
I'm at the doctor's, and I'm like hand sanitizer, and I'm with our trainer,
yeah.
and obviously like she knows more about like sicknesses than I do, and she's like, yeah, like it is getting bad, like you're right. And then they canceled the NBA season, and we were like, oh my god, like if they cancel the NBA season, what are they going to do with college sports? And later that day, just like it was drawn up, just a couple hours later, we were scheduled to play Duke the next day in the Durham Bulls AAA stadium, like going to be awesome. Um, and they came. We were hitting BP off our pitching machine, and we saw like ACC reps come out in like their college shirts. We were like, "This isn't normal. Like this isn't good." And then coach called us in for a meeting, basically told us that the season is kind of just terminated. Basically, he said at the time he didn't know for how long. No one knew yet. But then like an hour later, higher ups on Twitter came out and said that the College World Series was canceled. And once we saw that, we were like, we're not playing.
That
Like
sucks.
we know it's over now.
Yeah, like it literally didn't hit home for me until like they were like making all these reports about the Jazz because like the Jazz and I forget who the Jazz were gonna play, but oh it was the Thunder because all that happened in the Thunder, and then once they said Rudy Gobert tested positive, and then later it was Donovan Mitchell, I was like, wow, like this is actually real because like of course you see stuff on the news, you're like, okay, yeah, but
Yeah.
once it hits home, and then you saw that they canceled March Madness, which is one of their biggest revenues. Like I was like, oh wow, this is like really serious. And then like they were only gonna allow like the players' families in for tournaments and all. Then they just completely canceled it. And then I saw that they were canceling all the spring sports. Like that was awful. So like I can't imagine for the seniors too. I'm like even though they did grant them that they could come back next year, but it's still like not the same though because you know you like train so hard in the off season and you really want to go out there and play. So that sucks.
Yeah, that hurt. It was definitely weird too. Like, I know one of my closest friends was a JUCO kid that came, and like we spent like every day hanging out. We spent countless hours working out together and stuff. We got
Yeah.
clips. 20 games together this year.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
That Nolan Jones joins. Shout out to Nolan. Okay, so let's get into when you got drafted. So obviously the MLB draft isn't like the
NFL.
NBA draft where you can just sit at home, because if you sit at home then you'll be at home for about so so
Yeah.
where where were you when you got the news that you got drafted?
I was in my bedroom, I think. I was actually like just getting out of the shower. Um, so last year, like obviously, I kind of had an idea I was going to come back for my junior year. And like I talked to some teams, like I knew it was up in the air. And then once kind of the first couple days went by, um, I really like kind of was like, oh, like yeah, like I'm coming back and whatever. And the Yankees kind of knew that when they took me.
Right, yeah.
So when the Yankees drafted me, I like kind of wasn't even like ready for it. They didn't call me or anything before.
Yeah.
Coach Miller was actually, he texted me and was like, "Congrats, buddy," with like a bunch of exclamation points, and I had no idea what he was talking about. And then I actually had to like, my phone started blowing up, and I had to like go to like the draft tracker.
Yeah, because I think that I texted you too, because as you know, I used to work with the Trenton Thunder. So like I follow all like the reporters and stuff. So when I saw it said Joey Lancellotti, I did like a double check. I was like, wait, my Joey Lancellotti got drafted by the Nationals? So yeah, no, it was really exciting, but like I figured that you would go back because you love being a heel and all. So yeah, I mean, like it really was cool to see that. That's like really funny to hear. Like when you get drafted the 34th round, like you don't hear from them. Like hey, Joe, it's really nice to meet you, and we're so happy that we
Yeah,
drafted you. Yeah, that's funny.
they called me after, and I was like,
Oh, they called you after. Okay.
yeah, I was like, oh, like hey, yeah, and like we talked, like obviously, like it doesn't matter which round, like you're obviously excited about getting drafted. So that was awesome. And they were like, yeah, sorry we didn't like call you beforehand. It was kind of just like, hey, we kind of just went with it. And I was like, oh, like it's all right. It kind of took me for a surprise though.
That's so funny. It's like, hey, yeah, sorry, we're busy. We're in the middle of a pennant race, but we thought to give you a call a couple days later. That's funny. So what are your goals? So obviously, I know you're like me. You're itching to get out of the house. So like, what are you looking to do for like the summer? Like, are you gonna look to just relax, try to enjoy summer, or are you just trying to get back in there to throw and also hit, even though you do love to hit? So
Yeah, a little bit of both. I'm a huge fisherman. Like as soon as we hang us up, I'm probably gonna go fish. Like that's all I do.
I wish. I wish.
Um,
That's funny.
so I think I'm gonna head back to Carolina in the next couple weeks. Just because I still have my lease there and it's nicer, like weather-wise and stuff. So I might as well go. I might as well go spend some time there. So hopefully the facilities will start opening up. I got like some at-home workout stuff I'm gonna bring down with me.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm excited to start throwing again. I think I start in a week from tomorrow. So I've been taking off a little bit throwing just because I didn't know when the next time I'll need to throw would be.
Right, yeah.
So been taking off a little bit throwing. I've been hitting here and there, but I'm definitely ready to get into full baseball mode and spend some time fish. That's like the best part about summer. My two favorite hobbies take part in the same season, so I'm always busy in the summer, which is fun.
I hear you on that. All right, so I have 3 fun questions, and then I am done with you. So thank you
All right.
for joining the interview. Okay, so my first question is, if you could go to dinner with 3 Major League Baseball players, who would they be? And obviously, you're not going to treat them, so they're going to treat you. So where do you want them to take you?
Is it current or at any point?
It could be at any point. It could even be a prospect named Nolan Jones. Nah, I'm not joking.
Definitely Harper, just because when he came to Philly, it was like unbelievable. We're going somewhere expensive if it's Harper.
Yeah.
So I guess definitely get like a nice steak dinner.
Okay.
I think that was so cool. My dad showed me an article about Bryce Harper when he was still in junior college, because there was some article about a huge home run he hit that it was in Nevada, and they tracked down this ball in the sand, and they counted it by steps in the sand or something. And so I followed him since junior college, and he's always been like this huge name. So when he came to Philly, it was like, obviously as like a diehard all sport Philly fan. That was like, it was like an icon came here. So definitely him. I think definitely Trout. These are so mainstream, but
that's
when I played Arsenal, Mike Trout played Arsenal, and we actually I did a couple of like PDA workouts with him, which is like player development. And I was like a little kid, but it was all ages. We go to like this like Monday, Tuesday thing at the Hit Doctor.
Yeah.
And then I have some pictures with him from dinners that they'd have like banquet dinners.
Oh, okay.
And I sat with him one year and have a picture just like sitting there with Mike Trout when he's like 17 and I'm like 12. And so like definitely I would just like to get dinner with him to like reminisce and see if like he remembers any of it and stuff. And then maybe probably Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig, okay.
Yeah. Just I've been watching some films on him and stuff, and just like the guy he was and what he went through and stuff. I think he'd be pretty cool to talk to.
Okay. Yeah, I am with you with the 2 out of 3. I probably would have went Griffey. I love that. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Lefty batting too, so I would yeah, I probably would have went Griffey and Harper for sure, and then Trout, of course. I would love to meet one day, so maybe that one is. Maybe I'll get on my live. No, I'm joking. Probably not.
I don't know how true it is, but I read a thing on Twitter a couple months ago that said Ken Griffey, he wore his hat backwards during batting practice. Apparently, he'd get fined every time he hit batting practice with a backwards hat. So apparently, one year, I think the article said it was like $1,000 fine every time he hit batting practice with the turn backwards. So he actually showed up with a check on opening day one season for all 162 games paid off.
Jeez, that's crazy.
I don't know how true it is. I saw it on Twitter, but that was I read that. I was like, that's so cool.
Oh my God, I'm sure that he didn't write that. That was like probably from Wheaties or something. Since he was he's probably paid the fine. That's funny. So obviously being a Tar Heel, there's a ton of alumni. So who are some of the coolest alums that you've actually got to meet? Because I know like a lot of guys come in the wintertime that like to come in and work out with you. So who are some of the guys that you got to meet?
So it was pretty cool. My freshman year, Matt Harvey sat in for a scrimmage in our dugout and just like hung out. That was pretty cool. That was like, at first he like walked into the hallway and everyone's like, yo, like that's Matt Harvey. And then like by the 5th inning, he was just like sitting in the dugout and it was kind of like, oh, what's up? Like it was like pretty cool.
That's cool.
And then if you know Zach Gallen, he's from our area. So I actually grew up playing with it or like working out with him at like Tri-State Arsenal.
Yeah.
And we got close because it was like we had that connection, and I never got to play with him in Carolina, but he's always back there. And that was so weird. Like I grew up doing like pitching instruction stuff with him when we were like 13. Then I grew up watching him at Carolina, and now he comes back, like works out, and whenever he's in town, like we catch up a lot, and that's been awesome watching him. Like it was like someone like I always saw as like a friend, and now like I like turn on like the Diamondbacks, and he's like, striking out Cody Bellinger, and I'm like, so that's been pretty neat.
Okay, and then my last question: I've been doing a poll with everyone that I know that's from Philly. So I've been in the lone wolf on my answer. So hopefully you join me. Probably not. So what is your favorite Philly cheesesteak spot?
Steve's.
Okay. All right. So the Northeast Philly Strong. I, for some reason, chose Tony Luke's, and I'm gonna stick with it. Not to sound like a bandwagoner or lean on the other side, but everyone from Northeast Philly that I have interviewed have all said Steve's.
Yeah, Steve's has like always been the one, just because it's literally like 3 minutes down the road from my house.
Yeah.
So it's always been convenient, but I'll I'll take like buddies from out of town, and I'll actually like we'll hit up a couple of them, and I'll see. And it seems like Steve gets a pretty good review from my friends too. I always thought it was just because it was like my neighborhood one. Um, but I've always been around a bunch of like Dallas Andros was right next to Penn Charter.
Right. Yeah.
And then all my family lives in South Philly, so I've always had the South Philly cheesesteaks. I don't know. I've always had something for Steve's. Although whenever I go to a Flyers game, I'm a huge Flyers fan. Whenever I go to Flyers games and they end around like 10:30, 11 by the time I get out of the parking lot and stuff, Geno's does come in clutch. But
Geno's, yeah,
yeah,
I haven't
that's
had.
always the clutch like after game kind of cheesesteak.
Yeah, I haven't had them since like I went to the Wiz Khalifa Mac Miller concert. It was like the last time I went to Geno's. That's funny. Yeah, I'll have to hit them up soon. I actually never tried Pat's yet, so I gotta try a Pat's steak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I strayed away from them just because they got so popular. Like I would go there on like a Saturday afternoon and there's a line around the corner. I'd be like, really? Like I'm
It's
not
just
waiting this.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll see you soon. And I'll probably have a lot more followers soon now, Jake. So, yeah, thank you. It's awesome to catch up with you. Of course,
Yeah,
I wish you the best and all. So I will see you soon.
Awesome. No, it was great catching up.
Yeah, it was good catching up with you, Joe.
All right, see you later.